What's up, YouTube? It's been a long time, and honestly, I don't want to do 100 takes of each segment of this video, so I'm just going to power right through it. But this is my ultimate PC optimization guide. It has pretty much everything. And I put a lot of time into making this, and I've tried this pack on a lot of different computers, and I've had great results all around. This is my disclaimer. Please make a system restore point. You do this by going to create a restore point, click create, type in balls or something, and it'll just make a point for you so you can revert back to it whenever you need. I can't recommend enough to have a restore point. So I'm really excited to finally be sharing this with you. And this pack will be available through my Discord. The link to this Discord is in the description, but all you have to do is just come to the optimization pack here, download the zip, and it has everything that you will need. Alright, now let's jump right on into it. We're going to go right into Autoruns, run it as administrator. This is pretty much a glorified task manager startup menu. You just uncheck all of the ones that you do not want to run on startup. So I have pretty much everything unchecked other than Riot Vanguard, and I usually leave these NA ones in the CMD.exe. I just leave those checked because I'm not really sure what they do, but it's totally alright. Alright, once you figured that out, we can close right on out. Go to the next step. Now we're going to type adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. Click on Adjust for Best Performance, and then click on Smooth Edges of Screen Fonts and Show Thumbnails instead of icons. Press Apply, and then click OK. Now for device cleanup, you're going to run it as admin, and remove all of the devices. You can just press Control-A, right-click, and then remove. For your Fortnite settings, you want your game user settings, which is in your %local app data % file, under Fortnite game, saved, config, Windows client, game user settings. You just want to drag this new one right in place of that old one. And now the big important part of this is to go into the game user settings and set your frame rate limit to whatever your monitor refresh rate is. Mine is 280, so I have mine set to 280. But if you want to find the FPS one and you want to change it, just type in 280 after typing in Control F, and you should get it right there. Now for the next part, we're still going to be in local app data, so we can just go right back, go to Epic Games Launcher, saved, config, Windows, engine.ini. And we're going to copy and paste this text from here right on into here. And then just make sure that you save it, close out. Now we're going to go to our Fortnite's installation location, which is usually program files, Epic Games, Fortnite, Fortnite game, binaries, Win64, and then right click on Win64 shipping-.exe. Go to properties, go to compatibility, disable full screen optimizations. I usually click run it as an administrator. It doesn't really do much, but I don't know, I just like doing it. And then I come here and change high DPI scaling override. Just check it, leave it on application, okay. Press apply, and you're good. Now coming into your Epic Games Launcher, before we go into the in-game settings, you're going to want to click on these three dots, go to Options, and only have pre-download streamed assets clicked. The rest of them you do not need at all. But just that last one, pre-download streamed assets. What that does is it will preload all of the skins that are in your Battle Royale lobby instead of doing it on the fly. So it'll give you better performance and better ping. It's just, you want this. You want this for sure. Alright, now that we're in game, we're going to go to the settings. Make sure it's on full screen, whatever resolution you'd like. VSync is off. Your frame rate limit should say 60. It won't be 60 if you set it to a custom number. It will be the custom number. Even though this says 60, I will be getting 280. Now for the rendering mode, you want to go to Performance. I have my brightness on max. Triton Oak 10, 3D res off, view distance near, textures low, meshes low. I want show FPS and disable report performance stats. Goodness. Now go to the audio. Sound quality, you want to turn this on low. Make sure you turn on 3D headphones. It's definitely helpful. I don't know why I didn't have that on. I'll come to the gear here. Make sure you're on the right matchmaking region. Mine's NA East. I'll scroll down here. Turn off replays. And disable energy saving. Both of these off. You never want energy saving things on. They're bad. Alright, now for these GPU tweaks. This is going to be for NVIDIA only. My bad, AMD, but NVIDIA's just has so much more applications that we can use. We're going to start with NV Clean Install, and this is going to be our graphics driver installer. I'm going to click Install Best Driver for my hardware, and all I need is the display driver. It's all that you do need. Unless you need shadow play and you like record, then you click it, click Next, and then it will automatically add everything that it needs to enable shadow play. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to keep all of this off. Alright, now that you're here, you're just going to check Disable Installer Telemetry, Unattended Express Installation, and let this be checked. Perform a clean install, disable MPO, disable Ansel, and then disable HDCP down here under the expert tweaks. And click Next, and then click Install. I just installed this a minute ago, so I'm just going to move on. But this will usually take a few minutes. Your screen will go black, but everything is okay. It will all come back to life once the driver is fully downloaded. Now we're going to run the MSI Afterburner setup. I just included the setup.exe there for your convenience, but I already have it downloaded. Now I have my power limit dragged all the way up and my fan speed all the way up. And I did a little research as to what clocks my graphics card could handle, and it's been handling pretty well at a plus 50 core clock and a plus 500 memory. So I think that's pretty fair. And you also, if you don't care about how loud your fans are, you can always turn up your fan speed on all of your fans so you can get a better temperature. Now click this little Windows icon up here, click the settings, start with Windows and start minimized, and then press apply. That's all that we need to do for MSI Afterburner. Now for NVIDIA Profile Inspector. Just gonna run it as admin. And I know this may look super scary, but this is only gonna be like 10 seconds. You don't have to change any of this. Import user-defined profiles up here at the top. Import profiles. It should take you right to this folder, theballs.nip. Then it'll import, and this is a global profile and a Fortnite profile. And it should have all of the best settings on. Now for the NVIDIA control panel. Just want to open it up. You want to make sure that you're using 3D image settings. And NVIDIA Profile should have taken care of a lot of this, but it leaves out this option for some reason. I don't know why. OpenGL GDI compatibility, I have that on Prefer Performance. Alright, next up we got hardware acceleration, and really all that we have to do is turn it off in the advanced settings in Discord. And on your browser, you can also disable hardware acceleration, but sometimes they may change the name of it to be graphics acceleration, and you normally will have to restart. And also in Spotify, you can go to Edit, then Preferences, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then turn off hardware acceleration under Compatibility here. Now for Microsoft Telemetry removal, we're going to run O&O Shutup as administrator. Then we're going to apply only recommended settings. If you already made a restore point, then you're good. But if you haven't, then I guess you could make one here. And then just close it. Click yes. And it'll normally say you have to restart. You can just say later. Now open WPD.exe. And just click disable on the telemetry one here. And block the telemetry IPs. And here you can also uninstall a few things. Just do not click delete all. No, you do not want to do that. You do not, because you need a lot of this stuff for Microsoft to work. But a lot of like the redundant apps I will get rid of. We'll go through later in the installed apps and clear out a lot of the bloatware. Now for MSI Utility, just want to open it. Make sure that the MSI mode is checked next to your graphics card. And I have MSI mode on pretty much everything other than these express root ports. Just make sure that you click apply and close out. Alright, now we're going to jump into the network settings of this video. So what we're going to want to do is go to View Network Connections, right-click, click Properties, and make sure that Client for Microsoft Networks and Internet Protocol version 4, or if you have version 6, keep this checked too, but I only have version 4, so I'm only going to keep those two checked. And click OK. Then go back into the Properties, click on Configure, go to Power Management, turn both of these off, and then go to the Advanced Settings, open up this text file, just copy them over. I have a lot on this list, but I can't guarantee everything to be on this list. So I did my best trying to include as much as I can, but if something is here that is not on this list, then do not touch it. That's probably the best advice I can give. So I'm just going to read down the list here. Advanced EEE disabled, ARP offload disabled, auto disabled, gigabit disabled, DMA coalescing disabled, enable PME disabled, energy efficient Ethernet disabled, flow control disabled, gigabit light disabled, green Ethernet disabled, interrupt moderation disabled, interrupt moderation rate off, IPv4 checksum offload disabled, jumbo frame disabled, jumbo packet. If it's numbers, just leave it, but if you can disable it, do it. Large send offload, or LSO, IPv4 and 6, you want both of those on disabled. Log link state event disabled. Maximum number of RSS queues, you want that on 4 queues. Network address, I just have that on not present. NS offload disabled. Power saving mode, you want that disabled. Priority and VLAN packet priority enabled. Receive buffers, you want that on 1024, or the max supported by your computer. Receive side scaling enabled. Shutdown, wake on LAN disabled. Speed and duplex, you want this on auto negotiate. It usually causes stuttering and ping spikes whenever it's actually set to a number, so letting on auto negotiate is the best choice. TCP checksum offloads disabled. Transmit buffers, you just want to double the number that you had for receive. So I have 1024 here, so I'm going to put 2048 in the transmit buffers. UDP checksum offloads off. Wait for link off. Wake on magic packet disabled. Wake on pattern match disabled. WL and shutdown link speed disabled. And pretty much everything that starts with wake or something like that, just disable it. Everything on the bottom here, if it says like wait for whatever or wake, just disable it. And you're good with the advanced Ethernet properties. Just make sure you click OK. Now we're going to go to TCP Optimizer. Open this as administrator. And then we're just going to use these PNGs to copy over the information that we need. So you want to drag the connection speed all the way up to the right. Make sure that you're on your Ethernet controller. I usually don't touch MTU. I'm not sure why it's 0 in the image and why it's 1500 now, but I'm sure that there's a reason. I'm not going to touch it, but if you want to, go ahead. TCP window auto-tuning on normal, and then disabled for Windows scaling heuristics. And then I'm just going to go down the list. CTCP enabled for receive side scaling. Disabled. 64 enabled. Disabled. 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 Enabled. And go to advanced settings, or the next PNG. And just copy these numbers over. 10, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7.2 disabled 2,300 0 1 F or disabled gaming on 0 disabled 1 enabled 1 disabled 0 default large system cache, you want that on enabled, and for size you want it on optimized, which is 3, max user port 65534, TCP time wait delay 30, and just press apply. And you don't need to reboot right now. We're going to be doing that right at the end. Now, Optimizer.exe is probably one of my favorite apps for kind of deep loading and making Windows 11 feel a little bit better. So, I just have all of these settings on Optimize Performance, Network, Disable Error Reporting, Compatibility Assistant. I don't use any of these, so I'm just going to be disabling them. Like all of these telemetries, I don't need. For privacy, I just have all of these on. And then for the Windows 11 tab, I have a lot of the system settings. I have all the system settings on. I have Disable Insider Service because I don't know. Sometimes updating frightens me. It scares me. I don't like new things. Or whatever. Go to taskbar. I have mine on the left, whatever. You can disable widgets, chat, stickers. A lot of these are personal preference. I like getting rid of them because I like it more compact, and I like when Windows is just clean. I do like Snap Assist though, so I am going to keep that on because I use this a lot. You definitely want to disable the game bar here and enable game mode, for sure. And, of course, you can download apps if you ever need anything here. You can download 7-zip, browsers, and you can also clean cache of your browsers here, or temporary Windows files. So I just really like this app. But once you applied all of the changes on the PNG images here, you'll see a restart to apply. We're just going to minimize this. We're going to restart off of that. Alright, now we're going to be moving on to the power plans. And I wanted to shout out Corby Tech for making this one power plan up here. But we also have the Ultimate Performance Alternative. In case you don't like core.pow, it's not a good power plan. It is kind of, you do have to tailor to your PC specific needs, so if one does better than the other, just use the one that's running better. I use Core, it's Core VRs, that's how it'll appear. Honestly, I really like using it. It's probably my favorite power plan to use. And all you have to do is go to the steps here, and this is pretty much what you're going to be pasting into a command prompt. So you're going to run this as administrator, power cfg space dash import, and then you want to include the quotes, C, and then whatever the file path is. But, I mean, I had it saved here already as an example. Just paste in the rest. And that's it. You could very easily just go into your file explorer and paste this right in place of the beginning. Just leave the \core.pow and then you're good. So then once we have that imported, we can go to choose a power plan, and I installed it a few times obviously, but Core VR, you want to make sure that's enabled, and you're done with the power plans. A link to his channel will be in the description. Thank you again for the power plan. I love you. Alright, now we're going to go into the registry, and we're going to get the easy click and done ones first, because all you have to do is just double click yes to each one of these. Okay. So now, once we got all these done, we're going to come into the steps folder here. And these are 3 PNGs of them, some things that we're going to be changing manually. So we're going to go to Reg Edit. And then we're just going to go to each one of these, copy and paste it right on in, and just set the values to as they are in the PNGs here. Now I'm on Atlas, so I believe that my prefetch is already disabled because it is not in here. I will gladly do a video on the Atlas OS. You should have this if you're on regular Windows, I believe. Just try and make sure that all of the 32-bit D words are right and are accurate. Now I'm going to move on to priority control. And here you're going to want to have the convertible slate mode. You're going to want to set that to 0 if you don't have it. IRQ16 priority. You want to set that to a value of 2. IRQ8 priority, you want to set that to a value of 1. And then Win32 priority separation, you want to have this on 26. And now for each of these, you're probably going to have to add new D-word 32-bit value, and then just type in the name exactly how it is, like letter for letter. I'm going to go to System Profile, and now we're going to turn on Always On, with a hex value of 1. Network throttling with hex value of F. No lazy mode, you want that on a value of 1. And system responsiveness, you want that on 0. Now for the last thing in registry, I'm not really sure why I put this here, but you can use PowerShell to remove Cortana. All you gotta do is just paste that in. Okay, now this is going to be a very, very great thing for all of you that hate Game Bar and want to kill it and then twist the knife. Because that is pretty much what we're going to be doing to Game Bar. So we're going to go to this PC, C drive, Windows, System 32, we're not deleting it, don't worry, and then just search Game Bar. Now you want to right-click, Properties, Security, Advanced, Trusted Installer, and you want to put in the username of your connected Microsoft account, or whatever account that you have. I'd have to use my Microsoft email in order to use it for my username. So I have to type in my email, then I click check names, and then it'll transfer the permission right over to me. And I press apply, okay, close out, properties, security, advanced, click add, select principal, your username again, check names, okay, full control. Click OK, apply, yes, okay. And then all you gotta do is just change the name. And that's it. That's the first part. That's the first part. This is the initial stab wound. Now, we're gonna go into Registry Editor. And copy this. Paste it right into here, and try and select the activation type and change it from 1 to 0. And if you can't, then click on the folder here, Windows, Gaming, Game Bar, Presence, Server, this one, Permissions, Advanced, change, enter your username and check names, and press apply, okay, and come back in and give your username full control. Press apply, and then OK. And now you can change the activation type to 0. So now we do not have any Game Bar. No Game Bar. It's gone. Done. It's done with. Donezo. Now we're going to move on to the scans, and each of these, they have their own use. Malwarebytes is great for general virus scans. MSERT, this usually scans for corrupt files on top of several bad files that you do not want. So you're going to run a full scan of the Microsoft Safety Scanner. And this will take a while, so you might as well start it now. And if you don't have Malwarebytes already, you can paste this link into your browser and it'll give you the direct download. Once you have it open, all you gotta do is just run the scanner. It'll check for updates and everything in the background. And then while both of those are going, open a command prompt, run it as administrator, and paste all 3 of these lines in. We're going to do a DISM scans and an SFC/scan now. No viruses, W. Alright, once you've scanned the health, you want to restore health. Alright, now that that's done, we can do the SFC/scan now. Alright, now that your SFC scan is done, you can now close out of the command prompt and just move this safety scanner over to the side. Let's move on. Alright, now this is going to be a fair chunk of time, this services part, because this is going to be reducing a ton of your processes. When I have nothing open, I'm usually sitting at around 60 processes idle. And I know a friend who has had 200 while being idle. So this will definitely help with getting rid of some of the background apps and just the stuff that we don't need. All right, this is editing normal. A big part of this that I just didn't mention is on top of all of these services that I'm telling you to disable, those are just the Windows ones that you need to disable. A lot of these are going to be your background tasks like EA or a Adobe update server or ASUS update check. Those are the ones that you want to disable or at least put on manual so they're not running in the background. That's all. Enjoy. So, of course, I have the services.msc text file, and there is a lot to go through here. So we're going to be going through all of these, and I'd recommend having it set up similar to this, where you have your services and the text file open, and just have ready in the background a registry editor tab under HKey local machine, system, current control set 001, and then services. The reason for this is if you do not have the permission to, let's say I want to stop this task and it won't let me switch it to disabled. You can switch it in here by finding the service name, scrolling down to it, and then changing the start type from 3 to 4. And that's how you disable it. And that's how you're going to take care of pretty much all of these. You could do all of this inside of Registry Editor, and I wouldn't blame you for doing so. But this just provides an easier kind of way to navigate the services. So we're going to want to disable ActiveX installer, application layer gateway, you want that disabled, auto time zone updater, you want that on disabled, bcast DVR user service _44 FDD. That one I know that you're going to have to go through the registry editor and change that. BitLocker disabled. If you don't use Bluetooth, then disable it. Capture service 63C21 disabled. I think that's another registry editor. Certificate propagation disabled. Cellular time disabled. Connected user experiences and telemetry disabled. Device management wireless application protocol. Push message routing service disabled. Devices flow user SVC63C21 disabled. Then you want to disable device picker user service 63C21. I think that's also a registry editor. Pretty much anyone with an underscore, they're going to be registry. Diagnostic execution service disabled. Diagnostic policy service disabled. Dialog blocking service disabled. Downloaded maps manager disabled. And you totally can do this. I do it, and it works fine. You can actually disable Epic Online services and play Fortnite just fine. I'm not really sure why this happens, but it works. So I'm not gonna complain. You want to disable fax, geolocation service disabled. Everything that says Hyper-V, unless you're using a virtual machine, you want these on disabled. Then I just have Intel, Dynamic, these Intel ones here. I have both of those on disabled. IP helper disabled. Only if you're running IPv4. If you're running IPv6, then leave IP helper on. Microsoft Diagnostics Hub disabled. Messaging service _44FDD disabled. Microsoft App-V client disabled. Microsoft Edge elevation and update services disabled. Microsoft keyboard filter disabled. Microsoft update health service disabled. Net.tcp port sharing service disabled. Net logon disabled. Offline files disabled. OneSync service _63C21 disabled. Open SSH authentication agent disabled. Parental controls disabled. Payments in NFC/SE manager disabled. Phone service disabled. Print spooler disabled. Printer extensions and notifications disabled. Print workflow user service 63C21 disabled. Quality Windows audio video experience disabled. Realtek audio universal service disabled. Remote access auto connection manager disabled. Remote access connection manager disabled. The 3 remote desktop services are disabled. Remote registry is disabled. Retail demo services disabled. Routing and remote access disabled. Shared PC account manager disabled. Sysmain disabled. User experience virtualization service disabled. Wallet service disabled. Windows search disabled. Windows time disabled. Workstation disabled. WPN user service disabled. And if you play absolutely no Xbox games or nothing with Microsoft integration at all, then you can disable gaming services and Xbox services, but I highly would not recommend that if you play games like Minecraft. Alright, now we're going to move on to the storage. So we're going to start by typing in run, typing in prefetch, and deleting everything in this prefetch folder, and then go to %temp% and delete everything in this folder. Click do this for all current items, and then press skip. And then search for defragment and optimize drives, and then just click optimize. Now go into your Windows search and type in installed apps. We're going to be getting rid of some of that crappy bloatware that you do not need. Now, you are going to probably have much more things than I heavily debloated and I don't have too many games downloaded. So, I only have 57 apps on here. But I can guarantee that you will have calculator, camera, solitaire, just a ton of apps that you don't need to have downloaded. Like this one. I'm not... like that one. Alright, now we're going to move on to System Explorer. And a lot of you are going to be wondering what this is, and it's pretty much Process Lasso, but I kind of prefer this better than Process Lasso. I'll show you why. But run the... set up as administrator and just download it. And once you have it open, open up the steps here. And then you want to find Explorer.exe. Set the priority to high. And also click the little permanent box. And for process affinity, remove cores 1 and 2. Now for WinLogon, you're going to want to set the priority to below normal and permanent. And if you have any games that you might play, like Fortnite or something like that, you'd have to open the game and set the priority to high and have that on permanent. But coming up here, view, update speed, it'll use less of your computer if you have it on paused or slow. So I would just recommend having it on that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. This is just a simpler process lasso. And to be honest, I kind of like it better. Alright, now we're going to unpark our CPU. This is easy, one and done. It's just an app. Make sure that all of your cores are unparked. That's it. You're done. Now we're going to go to Ultimate Windows Tweaker here. Then we're going to go to Customization. Disable Start Animations. Performance. You want to drag these sliders down. Alright, well once you're in Security and Privacy, you want to disable the timeline feature. Disable user account control, disable sign out ability, turn off user tracking, disable OneDrive, and I also have off disable Windows error reporting, and I have disabled Windows update service. Just, you know, updates, I don't like them. They're stinky. But that's it for security, then go over to privacy. Click all of these except for the ones that you will need, like your camera and your microphone for Discord, or if you use, I mean, any of this stuff regularly, then keep it unchecked if you use it. Now we're going to apply the tweaks. Screen will flash, and go to Additional, and please check this, enable the network adapter onboard processor. Please do it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Gives you better performance. And that's it for Ultimate Windows Tweaker. So now we're going to move to Windows Defender removal. And this one is definitely going to be weird because you have to download it and you have to have 7-zip or WinRAR. So I left the 7-zip install here so you can download it really quickly. So what you want to do is copy this link, paste it into your browser. That should automatically start to download. Now you want to 7-zip, extract files, password, and the password is Sordum. It's right here. There's no quotes, just Sordum. Then press OK. And then just go to here. Turn off all of your real-time, turn off, uncheck every single real-time protection, all of that. And then open up Defender Control and disable Windows Defender. Now I'm on Atlas, so I already have it removed, so it kind of freaks out. But Windows Defender is a good thing to get rid of. If you don't want it running in the background and you feel like you're a safe, reliable person on the internet, don't get viruses, then you will be perfectly fine without Windows Defender. Run Malwarebytes regularly, maybe once, twice weekly, and then you will be golden. Alright, now we're going to be moving on to the Windows settings, so just have it open, similar fashion to this. We're going to start in display here. I don't use HDR. I've always had negative times whenever I try using it. So I normally just leave it off. Then come down here to graphics. Change default graphics settings. and then you want both of these on. All right, back in the graphics settings, you want to go to Browse, and I'll just do the regular Fortnite install, and that'll be your C drive, program files, Epic Games, Fortnite, Fortnite game, binaries, Win64, Win64 shipping.exe. Just add that, make sure that it's set to high performance, and of course add all your other games, and you are good. So now we're going to be moving on to sound, and my only advice here is to disable the devices that you do not ever use as inputs. So I only have my microphone and my speakers as my input and output, but I just disabled all of these so that I only have these exclusive ones available. Alright, and then the rest of these, you want notifications off. Going into your storage, you want storage sense off. And if you have a ton of files, like in my case, I have 5 gigs in my recycling bin. You could easily just remove some temporary files from in here real quick. Nearby sharing, you want this off. Remote desktop, unless you use one, have this off. If you do not use Bluetooth, I would recommend turning it off, for sure. If you see a mobile setting, I don't remember where the hell this was. Just turn it off. I think it's in here. I just have Bluetooth off, but turn mobile off. You want to go to your mouse settings, additional mouse settings, pointer options. You want to uncheck enhance pointer precision. You want that off. And here, obviously, you can also change what you want your cursor to look like. If you wanted a cross, this is how you'd do it. You'd find one of the crosses that you like, and then you would double click, click apply, and then boom. But I use default, so I'm just going to use default. Now on to personalization. I'd recommend most if you would just have a solid color background, like just straight black would be the best. You can just come right into here and make it a black background like that. And then you want to come back out here. Then you want to go to colors and turn off transparency effects. And then on your taskbar, you can hide the search, or you can keep the search icon. I don't use it. I normally just press Windows and then just search. That's easiest for me. I have task view off. I don't have widgets. I don't have the pen menu. I don't have this on. Pretty much just everything off in here. Apps. We already went through this earlier, but just debloat. Go through, delete, only keep what you need. And if you have the option, you can click on, I don't know which app will have it, but if you click modify on some of these apps, you can turn off their background app permissions. So that's how you kind of disable it from right in here. It's pretty easy. I just can't think of one off the top of my head. Alright, we're going into gaming. Game bar, we killed it. We already memed it. Game mode, we want on. That's a good thing. Alright, now going into privacy. We're just going to be turning off inking and radios and other devices. Like, a lot of this stuff, you don't need apps accessing them. I mean, it doesn't hurt to leave it on, but it also doesn't hurt to turn it off. But really, it's personal preference. Windows Update, also personal preference. If you want to update, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. Go into advanced options, though, under Windows Update. Go into delivery optimization. make sure that that's off. Go to Advanced Options, % of measured bandwidth, drag both of these down to 5, and both of these down to 5 gigs. And that's pretty much it. Windows Insider, you don't have to really mess with that, so we're good with the Windows settings. Now for the final thing, it's just Windows Update Blocker. If you want to disable updates or enable them, it's all you. I'm just going to disable them. Well, I think this is the time for the outro, so I'm resending this file because I made a few updates while I was making this video. But really, thank you for watching if you made it this far. I genuinely appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me, even though I haven't uploaded in almost 2 years in like 12 days, but meh. That doesn't matter. But I hope you all have a good one. Let me know how the tweaks worked out in the comments. Let me know what I could improve. Join the Discord in the description. See you in another year and 350 days.